Maja, Metličar, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here. You are Origin Priestess, a devotional embodiment guide, a code keeper, a light body alchemist, a grid worker, an artist, a believer, a seer, an oracle, a playful explorer, and a former criminal lawyer. From your website, I learned that after letting go of your life as a criminal lawyer, you traveled and lived wherever the land called you for 11 years, retrieving keys you placed there lifetimes ago. You remembered your origin coding, your sacred mission, and activated planetary grid points. Since you were a child, you felt like you didn't understand the rules of this planet. There was a clear memory deep within you of a world where we take care of each other, we express how we feel, and we manifest what we desire effortlessly. The world we currently live in is so different from that memory, so you felt like you didn't belong to it for most of your life. And you have always known you were meant to bring that ancient world back again. Through your experience of fearing your own power and doing your best to hide your light, you now teach women how to embrace it and become the embodied emissary of the sacred feminine they always knew they were. Thank you again for being here. How are you today?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and woohoo! Somebody pronounces my surname correctly. That's the
Must be because
first.
I'm Slovenian.
Yes. I'm like,
Uh,
whoa, that's different than usually.
It's same for me. My first and last name. It's difficult for foreigners to pronounce it. I get it. Um, I would really like to start with how this path from criminal lawyer to everything that I said now about you, how was this path for you? Was it like, I mean, it sounds very profound, but was it like suddenly or was like gradually process or if you can start with that?
Yes. So, in order to explain that, I need to take a few more steps back, even because
Perfect.
then it's gonna be even more clear. So, because many most of the people that I talk with and that they know me now, they kind of don't understand like why did I even become a criminal lawyer. So that's why I said I want to take a few steps back. Why did I even become a criminal lawyer? Because this knowing of a different world has been within me ever since I can remember, ever since I was a child. And, like I felt this was a strange world. I didn't understand. As a child, I remember this so clearly, I was able to read people's energy field and their thoughts and their blueprint and all of it. And I just didn't understand why they were behaving so differently than this truth that they were holding. Like maybe I would read they are sad, but they were pretending to be happy and nothing is wrong. And I didn't understand this. And, I was very attuned to suffering. I was just noticing suffering everywhere, and it was creating like physical pain in my body. And if when I encountered someone who was lying, I would get physical pain in my body. And I just I couldn't take injustice. When something felt wrong, I was just like, this cannot be. And so, so when I was a child, you maybe remember this. So we grew up in socialist Yugoslavia, right? And so, well, I was watching TV, Italian TV, and I don't know where was this TV series, LA Law. I don't know, maybe it was on our TV or Italian TV, I don't know. But anyway, LA Law, it was about lawyers, and me as a child, I was watching that, and I understood from there that lawyers help make things right. And so I thought, well, probably I should be a lawyer because injustice is just causing me pain. So this is what I will do. And I decided this in primary school already.
Wow.
Yeah. But as a mission. And well, yeah, I decided it in primary school, and then when it was time to choose the university, I chose law, and that's it. Like maybe my backup was English, but I was like, I don't really want to study English. And yeah, so then I got into law school, and I did the thing, and well, when I became a lawyer and I started working at the prosecutor's office in our capital, I started to understand that law is not really what I thought as a child. I saw it's a system that serves itself and not justice. And well, that's where my inner conflict started, because actually since I was in primary school, I was looking forward to being a lawyer. I just decided, I knew this was going to happen. It was so clear.
Hmm.
And I loved my job. I loved my job for some years. Every Sunday I was like, oh my God, tomorrow I go to work. Yay! Really? But yeah, so then I came to that point when I realized I'm not actually helping people.
Okay.
I'm just helping the system perpetuate itself. And yeah, and then this inner frustration started building up because I knew this was not my place anymore, but I also didn't understand like what what to do. I can't do anything else. I just want to help people, and I didn't see any example of something that I would like to do. Let's remember, in that time there was no, I mean, we had internet, but it was not like this.
Yeah.
There was no social media yet, or maybe just beginning, so you couldn't really see all these possibilities, and I was in Slovenia, and I'm like, from what I see, there's nothing that I want to do. So, but I need to make money, and I don't know how. So yeah, so I had some years where I had this inner struggle where I knew, okay, I'm not supposed to be here anymore, but what is there? I just felt I'm here to help people with my presence.
Okay.
And to the rational mind, and back then I was also very much in my rational mind. As a lawyer, you need to be, even though I was using my gift of sight all the time as a lawyer, but still I was like, how do you earn money by being in your presence? Like, what, you know so I just stayed there, kind of with a clear intention that I want something else, but struggling inside with what this is. And then of course the usual thing happened. Like, I think I had what people call burnout now.
Hmm.
But for me, burnout is actually, yes, like all that stress, but combined with ascension symptoms, with,
Yeah.
when inside something in you activates and all this light is released in your body and it's just breaking down the system and actually uh, um, like it gets overcharged because so much light is released into it, and then you are tired and all these symptoms start coming up. And I was just so tired. I even started taking vacation, which I had like 14 days per year, every Friday, because I just was not able. I was so tired.
Because you were at the place where you didn't belong anymore, so the that I mean, that's the way I'm looking from my case. It was like I didn't belong there anymore. So every minute I was there was like, it felt like
Yes.
2 hours. And the
Yeah.
energy I had to spend to be there, it was just like so much that in the end I came home and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was in a war against myself
exactly.
inside me. And at the same time, like I felt a huge responsibility to my work, and I was working like 10, 12 hours per day.
Mm,
I was working a lot because I was like, people are suffering. I mean, I cannot let these cases just sit in my there, on the desk. So it was just all of it. But yeah, mainly this war inside of me. I didn't want to be there, but I felt like I had no option. So that was draining me. And of course, all of this forced me to go within, and I understood, Maya, you like this will never change if you try to escape. You need to embrace, like accept this. And then once I accept it, once there is no like, oh my God, I need to go away. Once this is gone, then I know it's time to go.
mm.
And yeah, and then of course in that moment, blessing comes always, right? When we surrender. I don't even know if I'm answering your question. I'm just
Oh no,
flowing.
you're answering perfectly. Just keep
Okay.
going. Don't worry about the
Because
question. It's all good.
I
It's all
forgot
good.
what was the yeah. But so a blessing came, an opportunity to apply to be seconded as national expert to an European Union agency in The Hague.
Okay.
And I'm like, yes, like I need to go. So I applied. I was selected for 6 months, and so I went to The Hague, and like I was working so much in Slovenia, and there was so much space, like so much less work, normal, probably normal,
Mhm.
and much better pay. And, like the environment was just much more relaxed in the work. And so I started healing, suddenly I had space to really take care of myself, like sleep a lot, um, make juices, like just be outside, just rest.
Yeah.
And so that was crucial, because it recalibrated me. And then once I came back, I was like, it's time.
Yeah.
And, also I had some money done because that job was very well paid. And so soon after, actually, after coming back to
So
the process.
this is the point when you came back from Hague, it was the point where all your 11 years started. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Traveling.
like I was, like 2 months, then
Yeah.
I gave my resignation. I had to stay 3 more months
Oh,
because,
yeah, I understand.
yeah,
But
so like,
after the resignation, basically the your
yes, yes,
period of
yes, yes,
11 years of traveling started it.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah,
And what was the first place you went and how that contributed to retrieving keys you placed there lifetimes ago?
yeah,
Can you explain, like, first of all, what that actually means,
yeah,
that you placed keys because
yeah,
lifetimes ago, and how was that a process that you actually realized that
mhm,
this is happening?
yeah, yeah. So what I mean by that is, so I always kind of had a knowing that I've been on this planet for a very long time already. And in the beginning, this was just, somewhere, but then later, like step by step, it started crystallizing, that this is not a linear process. I understood this later, not yet at that time when I quit my job and started my nomadic journey. I didn't know yet what I was doing, but so I remembered this later, that I know I am like, I was this being that was sent to the planet Earth to help the human collective to advance life on Earth. So I know I'm from somewhere else. I have this clear knowing. And I also remember, I remember the big flood, 12,000 something years ago. I remember that time when we knew that the feminine was going to be erased. And we knew in advance, those of us who were, I don't know, council members, don't know how you want to call it. We knew this was coming. And so we placed these keys, which are like seeds of remembrance, in various points around the planet, so that they would stay protected for all of those thousands of, we didn't know how long, we knew it would be long. I don't think we knew it's gonna be that long, but it didn't matter. So that these keys could stay protected, so they couldn't be corrupted.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then as remembrance starts arising, when the time is right, and now on the planet the time is right, well, now, it's been for some time different for all of us, this calling starts awakening within you. So I was called to all these places, very specific, and I would come there and it was very like clear, walk there and there. Usually I have these keys that I placed in nature temples, not in these famous temples.
Yeah.
Most of mine are in places that people don't know about, and those are ancient temples. And I'm just like, go there, just guided. And I followed because I always did this as a child as well. I always had this guidance. This is normal for me. I don't know life without this
Knowing.
knowing. Yeah.
Is that
And
like, can I just interrupt you for a second? Is that like inner feeling or is actually, let's call it a download? So people understand. How is it? Is it like, okay, example, because for me, it's like okay, if I have to decide, do I go to this city or this country? I just get a feeling, right? So for me, it's like 2 weeks ago, I was like, okay, do I go to North Macedonia or do I go to Bulgaria? And it was just like, I asked myself, and it was just like, when I thought about North Macedonia, I get bad feeling. And I was like, all right, that's it. And then Bulgaria was like, oh, okay, right away, the pictures came and like, yeah, and a good feeling came. I don't know, that's how it's for me. How that translate for you? How
yeah, for
is that?
me, I usually receive, like, I have my in three main ways. One is
Okay,
just knowing. I
okay,
just
yeah.
know. One is also feeling. I just feel it in my body, or I get images that
Okay,
kind
so
of talk to me. Yeah.
clairvoyant, you're clairvoyant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
also.
okay. Paul,
Yeah, these are,
we have the same system.
yeah. So these are my three main ones,
Yeah,
but I
okay.
also know I receive through smell as well.
Yeah,
Like I can smell disease. If somebody has
wow.
very serious disease, I smell it
Okay.
for some reason. And I sometimes I hear also like a voice, like an actual voice, but this is more rare. So those
Yeah.
three are primary. Yeah. And yeah, and so back with retrieving the keys,
Hmm.
I just had this knowing, it wouldn't let go. It was just, you need to go there. And then I go and I go to that place, and maybe I need to place my hands on a rock or step somewhere, or and then I just felt, okay, something opened inside of me, more knowing, more remembrance. Um, and yeah, so first, when I left Slovenia, I went to Amsterdam. Rationally, at the time, I explained it because when I lived in The Hague, I was often in Amsterdam, and I just, I liked it there. It was a city, very lively but small. I was with my partner at the time, so we went together. Yeah, so we started in Amsterdam, and then I wasn't aware yet of that I'm retrieving keys and this kind of stuff. But that was the time that my life, first it was, all fun and games, like usually when when it starts and you quit your job and you go and you are free and you are posting these images on Facebook and everybody's like, oh my God, I want to be you. And I'm like, yes. And then it starts, Dark Night of the Soul times
Oh, yeah.
million. So yeah, so everything started collapsing, uh, and then I moved to Estonia with my then partner, where everything collapsed finally. But there in Estonia, actually, I started to understand this calling of specific grid points.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where that knowing started opening up for me, really.
So basically, could you also explain, please, grid points and
Yeah.
what this work involves and how it's connected to your broader mission? I
Mhm.
mean, was that like awakening at that point? Would you call that awakening that point when you, or was just remembering?
So people often ask me, when did you wake up? And I cannot say I had
Yeah,
a moment. Like, I don't think I was ever really sleeping because as a child, I knew I'm connected to source. I was often just sitting by myself with eyes closed and connecting with these other worlds. And nobody told me what this is or what. And then people were meditating, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing this for a long time already,
yeah.
you know. So I wouldn't say I woke up. I just say that deeper layers of remembrance
Start.
were arising or awakening. I would say like this,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Uh, so grid work, the way I explain this is, so we have on Earth grid points, which are certain points where energy is like energy lines meet, and it's more what's the word? It's like a vortex, or more concentrated. Yeah, concentrated. That's the word I was looking for. Um, and by the way, I think grid work is changing as well. I think it's very different from what we were doing back then than what it is now,
yeah,
because grid work as we were doing then, I say we because there were others, I met them then later, these people, and I realized that many of us were doing this. One, we were going to these points for our remembrance to retrieve the keys. But second, also, we were activating the points or like clearing some grid points, connecting. That's why the travel, so here and there. And some people were placing stones or crystals and taking them around. I would usually connect them, just like I would do something and connect them, not placing, like not taking
yeah.
objects usually. And I feel we were restoring the grid that was dormant. Um, and this was definitely part of my mission. And I know so many people, who had this mission. And then at some point, I was like, hello, I don't want to do grid work anymore like this. No, I'm finished. I completed my thing. And I think you can do this, because after that, I was not called like this anymore to travel all
Yeah.
the time, but just to go to certain spots and do a ceremony or something like this. And also, when I say that I think it changed, I think we activated that grid. And I think now there is like a new grid. There is,
Yeah, my last two. guests, Valerie and Amber, they actually are grid workers and they do exactly what you mentioned now.
So who did you say the first name?
Amber and Valerie.
Valerie from Los Angeles?
Uh, she's in no. Well,
Okay.
she is from United States, but she's in Netherlands right now, living for a
Ah,
while now.
okay,
But
then
maybe I don't know if that we mean the same one. But this is what yeah, for me it's I joined one of her. We have a flame group holders Zooms, and um, she was in Peru. So she did a presentation and we did meditation. And it unlocked for me so many things because just going through meditation and watching on photos these spots that she
mm,
was, I mean, for me, it was just like I'm getting goosebumps now. Like
yeah.
and so much remembering after that night happened for me that it just went like in 1 month, bam, 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 bam. I got answers that I was looking for 10 years, like where
Mm.
I come from, why I'm here, and all of that. And so for me, it's very fascinating what they do. I mean,
Mm.
and yeah, no, just a little comment on that because it's not easy actually.
No.
And they come, I mean, we talked with Amber and she's like, yeah, we were in England now, we did this and that, and I came back, I'm so tired, we got some entities and all of this kind of different stuff. So definitely challenging work, definitely.
Yeah. I got tired as well at some point
Mm,
because it was a lot of moving around constantly. And I'm very grateful. I was lucky that most of this grid work I did actually with my closest soul sister, who I met after Estonia when I went to Bali. And we did a lot of this grid work together.
mm,
So that was much easier than doing
for
it
sure.
alone. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, okay. This is so great. I love this conversation. Uh, One of the question, because for me, you mentioned that uh, you always knew you were meant to bring that ancient world back again.
Hmm.
What does this ancient world look like to you? And what steps do you believe are necessary to re-manifest it on Earth?
Yeah.
Because for me, I would really um, I know for me what that means, and I would love to hear that from you.
Yeah. Interestingly, I was thinking about that question this week.
Okay.
What does that world look like? Because before I never even asked myself, I just knew what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
That I knew.
Yeah.
But I think because now I am myself moving into more practical elements of bringing this world or resurrecting this world, I would
Okay.
say. Because before I was doing it like mostly energetically, and now it's become very practical. So that's why I started to think, how does this look like? And I don't know. I don't know how it looks like. I know how it feels like. I know how it feels like. And well, first is the return of the feminine to take her rightful place because now she was completely removed. And as the sacred feminine is resurrected, so will be the sacred masculine, because this happens automatically. As she rises, he has to rise as well,
Mm,
as the protector, the guardian. And so as they both rise, sacred union returns, and with sacred union returns the third energy, the golden child, however you want to call it, which is heaven on earth, new earth, which is this new world where we start operating, sourcing from the essence of who we are. And our essence, of course, is beyond this body. We are connected to source. We are connected to the crystalline core of this planet. We are connected to the truth of everything that is. And so this new reality, in this new reality, we create from that space. We create from our highest truth. We create from what are our unique gifts, not like now that we are programmed. You are like this, you go study that, and when you study that, you do that, and you live your life like that. No, it's just like limitless existence, and violence goes away because
Yeah.
there is just no need for it. No space for it, no space for it. And yeah, that.
Do you? Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, the feeling you were talking about it, I knew it since I was younger too.
Yeah.
And then I did a QHHT session and I saw how it looks, the world. One of the realities, let's call it like that, right? And there was no need for war, poverty, no need for jealousy, greed, and all of
Yeah.
those stuff,
Yeah.
you know. And it's hard to explain because I can see even now pictures of this world, and it's hard to
Mhm.
explain. Uh, but it's just it's like everything had a place, right? Each person being whatever had a place, exactly knew what his mission is, right? And it was always just to evolve on a better.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just that. That was the goal. Like it
Yeah.
didn't mean like, oh, I'm better the other. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Everybody understood that at this point of his existence, of person's existence, being existence, is to involve himself.
Yeah.
And that this is his path at that moment. And when this path it's over, you will go to a next level where you're gonna learn new stuff. And this
Mhm.
is how they showed me the worlds of. Now I understand that these were dimensions, different dimensions, and different levels of consciousness. You know, so
Yeah.
but this is for me. It's like that feeling. I can connect with those pictures, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's hard to explain to people that this kind of stuff exists and it did exist before and exists now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
mm. um, can you tell, because you the way I know of you, or I've been told this through my friend, she was one of your workshops. I just like you should check her out, invite her to a podcast. And yeah, it took me a couple months. Was not. I went. You still had. You were. I think you were still in Spain. I don't know, but like on the
Portugal.
website, Portugal. Okay, Portugal. Okay, and it took me a while, but here we are. But my next question that I prepared was a devotional embodiment guide and light body alchemist. What does that mean to? Example, how do you guide women through this process? What does actually mean? Can
Yeah.
you explain a little bit
Yeah.
so people will understand?
Yeah, so devotional embodiment is a name that came to me when, I was trying to just describe what I do. But basically, for me, devotional embodiment is it's embodiment work, but through devotion
Okay.
to the path, to the mission, to the highest good of all. So, devotion is your approach to this and your guide as you are landing into your body deeper, because the vast majority of my clients who are, all highly intuitive, highly sensitive, they are not in the body. they are out of the body, and I was as well most of the time out of my body.
So you mean not grounded?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
I
yes.
understand.
Yeah, like I work with women mostly, and generally these women, and that was me as well, we were in the body like until the heart, and then just like somewhere up, like we
Yeah,
we
I
we
understand.
rather be up. And that's why I use this word than landing into the body, into this reality. So this is for me devotional embodiment, doing embodiment work in a very specific way that came to me,
I understand.
through my channel, with that um, intention of devotion to the highest good of all, and learning that the highest good of all includes my highest good as well. And also a big part of devotional embodiment is learning, remembering that service does not equal sacrifice, which was what most of us were doing most of the time.
Oh yeah, I had to learn the
Yeah.
hard way.
Yes, yes, yes. So, with this, I'm
Mhm.
doing my best to save people some of those difficulties that I had, because I was just sacrificing myself, my time, my energy, my money, my everything for service. I just didn't matter. And hello, how can you be of highest service if you think that you don't matter?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So that's devotional embodiment in short. And
Okay.
like it's specifically I work with women, so I work with the sacred feminine trinity, which is again a concept that I received of how specifically to help women to very quickly land back in their body in a natural way. And then light body alchemist, this is another thing that I'm like, how do I call this? Um, because now that I have I guide the origin priestess journey, which is a 13-week journey for women where we go like deep into the remembrance of their own inner origin essence, origin priestess. And with that, I received a series of alchemy practices that work with your energetic body, with the field, with your light body. So we literally like we do alchemy with the light body, and like it's mind blowing how easy, how simple this is, and how quickly it works. Um, yeah. So that's what I mean with light body alchemy. Yeah.
Yeah, I would maybe a year and a half ago I would be like, what you talking about? But now that I'm doing the light keeper healing and I see how it works when you work with the light and energy and you're putting energy in the people's body with the symbols, this is in my case, the effect and how simple and quick it is, it's out of the world. It's I mean, why I do this is like, so I hope women and people will watch, they will go to you. You understand? So the ones that will resonate, because this happens with every guest I have. They
Mm,
just resonate and they go like, okay, and I hope women, this is why I'm asking you this question. So the ones that are watching and have been like, oh, I like Maja, I'll go to her website and do that, right?
mm.
Um, could you elaborate on what it means to be an emissary of the sacred feminine? Maybe you did answer already, but just in case.
Yeah. So when I say emissary of the sacred feminine, I basically mean those women who, on soul level, they agreed to be the ones who will walk first, who will resurrect the sacred feminine in themselves and become a living example of like how sacred feminine feels and moves, so that others are like, oh, I recognize that, I remember that, I want that for me as well.
Mm,
Yeah.
we are back. We were talking about women, And let's say, what would be the first, like, if women watching this and they're like, oh, I can't be like you, or like, where do they start? Because or maybe what would be maybe some suggestion how to remember?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
there's so many, why I'm asking this, because there's so many different stories how people remember,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
For you and me, like it was all our life. For
yeah,
me, it was like I knew there's some, but I didn't understand what is it, you know? For me,
yeah,
it was different. And for some, it's like, oh, they have no clue until something drastic happens, and then bam, at
yeah,
30 or whatever, right?
yeah, yeah. So, I always say to everyone, there are many access points. I offer you some of them, but there are others
Of
as
course.
well. And the first thing that I always say to everyone, like, be in this moment. Allow yourself to feel what you feel right now and be with that. Embrace that and don't push it away, whatever it is, fear, discomfort, just be with it. That's actually the gateway always.
Mm,
So if you just start with that, which everyone can, steps will be shown to you. Next steps will be shown to you. And then if you are drawn to me and my work, welcome. And
exactly.
I can show you how I do it. And yeah, yeah. And like so the main thing that I do is I hold a space of a certain frequency where things start happening in the person. That's how it starts, when people come to me, like in the containers, like if I do a free container or if I share something on social media, it's always just like I hold a certain frequency mainly.
Yeah.
And then things start happening inside of them and they're like, I yes, just
Yeah.
yes. I'm in. Whatever you are doing, I'm in.
Yeah.
And then, I have this some techniques, all of them received from source. I didn't study any modalities. Um, yeah, yeah,
Basically, you're creating a space where, or energy, like you say, energy field, where these women or people like can process what they have to process for
yes,
for that
yeah, yeah.
moment, right?
I mean, basically, I c- mm, think I heard my cat maybe. Basically, I clear that space that we are in and I hold like a 0 point, you
Yeah.
know, where then their system is just like, okay, okay, I can I can drop in, I can feel myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
That's really nice. Beautiful, actually. That's oh, I needed to get to that point for a very long time. I understand. I know which, I know that feeling
yeah,
where
yeah,
somebody's holding for you. So for me
yeah,
was also other people that were like showing me like, look, and giving me answers, right? A different
yeah,
way. So
yeah,
I could start first like process my stuff and then start remembering.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I understand. It's a once you decide to go that path, and uh, for me personally, the biggest was surrender.
yeah,
That was the one that like stop controlling stuff, stop
yeah,
thinking what can go wrong, what will be, what,
yes.
how, what, just once you do that, it's like bam, bam,
It
bam, just
starts
it
happening.
just
Yeah,
start happening like unless, and this is also a reminder for me what I'm saying now, I'm reminding myself like it's like the less you push, the less
yeah,
you go against it,
Yeah.
faster everything's happening. Like,
Yes, yes. But this is all the time for all of us, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I need to remind myself of it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of always like stop pushing because
yeah,
more I know myself, it's easier to not to just
yeah,
to surrender, right? And
yeah.
now that like through human design that like I understand myself even more, it's
Mm,
like, oh, okay, this makes sense all my life, right? And
mm,
which are my points and like frustration is the ones that like if I get frustrated, I know that's my thing that like it's holding
yeah,
me back. That's my
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And like, and when I'm in that moment frustrated, I'm like, I'm trying to get that click, like stop. It's
yeah, yeah,
and so but the point is like everybody needs to know themselves, and then it's
yeah,
like kind of easy operate in this world.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Okay,
perfect. Thank you
yes.
for this one. Say. Okay, we got a cat back inside. Here it is. Is him or her?
Him,
Him. What's his name?
Satoshi.
Satoshi. Okay, Satoshi. Looks beautiful cat. Um, so we were talking about yeah, knowing yourself. But from your at this point where you are in your life, right? And the work you do. How about your personal journey? How that involves?
Um,
Because now we are just talking about you helping people, but there are stages for all of us that, okay, we learn and then we have to implement that in our lives, and then something new comes and we learn and so on. And how is that
yeah.
for you?
I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was always very aware that my work and my life is the same thing. Because I'm sourcing from inside of me, I can only hold as much as I am stabilized. So yeah, I would say that, well, first I was just in the mission and I wasn't thinking really of the work that I'm doing on myself, but I was doing it. And then as I said, okay, I'm not gonna sacrifice myself anymore for the mission, but I'm gonna really like focus on myself and then source from that overflow. Um, then I started putting more conscious attention on my work, and it was, of course, inner work, but embodiment work, like really taking care of the body in every possible way. Yeah, and as I do that and I heal myself more, I become more aware, I become more stabilized. Then this is what I start offering to the people, and it's very clear in my work as well. So, I have like very often the people that come into my ecosystem, let's say, they stay usually
Hmm.
because I'm all the time evolving, and so is my work. It's changing all the time, expanding, becoming like more profound. And they tell me like, Maya, I'm looking at you and I'm just like, what's going on here? You are just quantum leaping all the time, and I'm looking at you just online and I can see it.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, like the work that I do with people is a reflection of my inner work and the other way around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that because uh, in the work you do, or and people like you, and there's a lot of I call spiritual ego, and where people
Mm,
think
yeah.
they reach the top, uh,
Yeah. Mm.
and so that's why I love your answer. Could you tell me your view where we are at this moment in what's happening currently from ascension point of view, energetically, maybe planetary, whatever you wanna, the way you wanna describe it.
Okay.
And um, because everything, the way I feel, everything is happening exponentially fast. Every thought, every good thing or bad thing, let's call it like that for sake of conversation, manifests immediately.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
karma, let's go, kicks back if you do it the wrong way immediately. It's not like you're waiting
Immediately.
for
Yeah.
kids there. Everything is like just so, and if you maybe explain why is that and where
Yeah.
we are
Yeah.
going, maybe.
Okay. I'm just gonna open the door to my cat, but
Yeah,
I'm here.
no problem.
Yeah, so what I'm seeing now, there is so much light flooding the planet, and the grid is so lit up here, but also like what I call the new grid, which is us. I think we are the new grid. I think there is a critical mass of people already on the planet who reached that point of awareness, expanded awareness, that we are pulling everyone up. And so,
So
well,
before you continue, I need to ask you this. Okay, why do you think so? That is that reached? What is that because the ascension cycle is just the timing is right? Or was that is that mixture of different things that happen in this reality? Or
I think this just be like, something that I do is like I read planetary energy
okay,
since always. It comes as a knowing,
okay,
so I never studied any, like, I don't know the cycle, like I forget. Even if somebody tells me
okay,
the age of Aquarius and this is the
yeah,
starting then and now it's happening this and that, I don't remember these things.
okay,
I just pick up, like I read the frequency.
okay,
And for me, from what I read is it is done, it is done, it is done. The
awesome,
light has won, it is done. Now it's just about the material aspect catching up with
okay,
what is already done.
I understand.
And it is on us humans, it depends how long this is going to take in years, let's say. This is, how I feel. Like a lot of, if I say this to someone, I say it is done, the light has won, but this doesn't mean that okay, now it's done, like we don't need to do anything. No, 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 we continue, like it's on, it's on. Like this is the time, go full in, onward, and like, yeah, we don't stop now. But anyway, if I say this, often people will be like, yeah, but what are you talking about? Look around you. War, this and that, and those crazy people there, and this is happening there, and food shortage, and money, and this and that and that. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. Like it's all collapsing. No, the old system is already collapsing everywhere. Everywhere you turn, the old system is collapsing. And even like if you talk with, let's say, normal people, but aware of this like higher realms, like, talking about energy, like in the grocery store or like everywhere, or uh, they start asking the they
Okay, we after some technical difficulties, we continue. Maya, please continue.
yeah. Well, yeah. So I was saying that right now, like all this, darkness that people say and like suffering, this is a sign of that. collapsing, I see this as the last, they are just trying to hold everything together. They're just going full in to keep this together. But it's just not going to stand. And another thing that I was thinking about just today, because so much light is pouring on the planet, it becomes much more clear who is in a very strong distortion. And people are noticing now much more than before. Yeah.
No, go,
Okay.
continue.
Yeah. So I was saying that, I always said this to people that got upset, like, what are you actually doing for, to wake people up? And I said, we don't need to wake anyone up. We just need to, do our inner work. And by that, we will hold that frequency, we will raise the frequency for everyone. And then people will just wake up. They will just start seeing, because it's inevitable. It's inevitable. And when you awaken, it's undeniable. You cannot unsee it. It's just a process that happens. Nobody can stop it. So I think, people are seeing now more and more. And and because there's so much light flooding the planet, the distortions are even more visible. They are coming out, all the revelations, like everything is coming out. It cannot stay hidden anymore because there is so much light in the field. And this is going to be painful, of course, because people based their identity on this distorted reality. But this is literally what it means, that the system collapses, not just the systems of, the countries, our inner system, but the one that was artificial, implanted from the outside, because your inner structure, your inner architecture cannot collapse. The organic structure cannot collapse. Yeah, and so this is what I see happening now. And it's gonna be happening, I don't know, I think for the next 2 years very intensely.
Oh yeah.
It's not gonna be pretty. It's like, buckle up. This is it. It's happening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting because a lot of people's illusions, they're gonna be like a bubble. It's gonna be like
Everyone, also ours.
yeah,
Like, we need to know that even if we are on the path, like, I'm all the time aware. I don't know what I don't know. I have blind spots too.
of course.
So all of us, like, we need to be prepared to let go of everything that we believe in. Because if it's not aligned with the highest truth, we will see it and it's going to collapse. If it is, then no, it's gonna stay no matter what happens.
Yeah, you're completely right. Could you explain a little bit more about our inner system that you just said, that is you mentioned that is influenced from the other realms or systems, or could you explain a little bit that? Because I got to this awareness just maybe about 5, 6 months ago.
Okay.
So I would love that you can explain a little bit better than I can do for sure.
Okay, so you mean how our, like, inner reality is influenced or obstructed by the outside programming, this, or
Exactly.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the way I see it, I often will talk about, and this is so funny. Like, I love that you invited me to this podcast and you're asking these questions, because a lot of these things I actually uh, don't share on my social media, on my website, only in my closed containers, and
Okay.
I should share it more publicly. But anyway, so I talk about the organic, and I will go to our inner systems, but I talk about the organic timeline of humankind and the artificial timeline of humankind. And then we will mirror that on our inner system. But the organic timeline is the divine blueprint, is the divine origin timeline. It's our deepest truth. The artificial timeline is overlaid on top of the organic one.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, sometimes it's completely inverted. Sometimes it's just slightly distorted. Looks very similar to the organic timeline, but it's not it. And the artificial timeline always comes from the outside. It's determined by someone on the outside. An implant like placed over, covering the organic one. So this is the same, with like our inner structure. We have an inner divine blueprint. This is your inner origin truth, is just what you know inside of yourself. Nobody needs to tell you that. You will just know. But because we live in this society and we are observing the world, and it's like, yeah, we are receiving a program from the outside into us. You need to go to school. You need to sit for this many hours in school and learn that. Then you need to sit for 8 hours behind the desk every day from Monday to Friday. You work from Monday to Friday, and Saturday, Sunday you rest. In summer you rest. In winter you work and you party at night. La 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 la. We receive this from the outside and we believe that it's true, because we always learn that you look to the outside for truth, not to the inside. And we overlay that program on top to cover our organic blueprint. And most people believe that outside program, so they source their reality from the outside, from something that somebody else told them, not from the inside. And then, then when more light starts coming in, the organic blueprint will start coming online, because the organic light it's like it's lighting up the organic blueprint, and this distorted one that comes from the outside will just like start disappearing, and it will become very, very clear. What is this? This is not it. Yeah. Does this explain?
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. Maybe your point of view on how many layers of these implants do we get from which
Oh,
dimensions?
many layers, many layers, because I mean, this has been happening so long for humankind that it's in the cellular memory even, right? So we
Yeah,
know we are born with this, and we think this is true.
yeah.
So I'm not saying that it's always easy to discern. It's not always easy. No, like for some of these things, these layers are so deep. That's why, I said before, I don't know what I don't know. I don't know how many of these layers I have.
Mm,
No. Yeah.
yeah, sure. You said before, you know, f- we're gonna be all shocked, and we're gonna have to And for me, I was thinking about this, like I was listening to you at the same time. I was like, oh my God, this you got me working my brain. And I always try to like is like remember that saying. It's like we are in times where you need to unlearn everything you know so you
Mhm.
can actually start learning again. So if you are able to do that, and it's not easy, and and it's like because we have those programs, we have those comfort zones. It's like, oh no, no, but I'm 45 and I believe that for 45 years, and it's kind of, although it's here black and white that that's not the case anymore, it's still hard to let go. But I'm
Yeah,
trying really hard to think like that. But but for
yeah,
me now it's more like just trying to feel everything. I don't know if I express myself properly, but it's just like if it feels right, I'll do it. If it doesn't, I don't care. Like
yeah,
no, I'm not. If I get that feeling that it's like it's coming with the resistance, I'm like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. I'm not doing it. I'm not going that
yeah,
place anymore. So I'm trying
yeah,
to keep it simple for me. I don't know. I'm at that
yeah,
stage where I just like I get this inner feeling like here in the stomach, and I'm like, that doesn't feel right. I am not doing it. Although it sounds and looks fantastic
yeah.
and beneficial or whatever, and I'm like, nah, 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 nah.
Yeah, but ultimately it is simple, you know.
Yeah.
Again, one of these programs that came from the outside was like just it needs to be complicated, you know. Then it's
Mm.
good. Like then it's
Yeah.
in the end it's very simple. And you know, I like I when I have women in my containers, I talk about decoding your own process, you know, so like observing yourself and understanding what are these signs in your body or in your being that signal you, yes, this is the way. You can learn this by observing yourself because we get
Yeah.
these signals all the time, but we just, most of the people, they are so disconnected from feeling that they don't notice these signals.
Mm.
And you know, another thing that I just wanted to to add here, as we were talking about, you know, how like our society, like people's identities are based on these old systems. And something important to remember, I like to remind light workers about this, that something that I've seen happen often with myself as well. You know, like you quit your job, you go on the path, you're doing, and then like finally you get to a place where you have figured out somehow what you're supposed to do and it's working, like you get your clients. And then comes the moment when it's time to release that identity.
Okay.
Yes. And things will just like start feeling something is off, and you're like, yeah, but I'm on the path, like I quit my job, I traveled around the world, I did everything, and now it was starting to work. What now? Like, you do I need to let go of this again? Yes, you need to let go just of holding on to that idea. Now I figured it out, this is what I'm supposed to do,
Hmm.
because it's not fixed. The mission is not fixed, it evolves. And sometimes, you know, this what you started doing will go completely, and sometimes it will just expand. But it is something that happens continuously on the path when you really like say, I'm fully in, I'm ready to see, show me. This will happen. Yeah.
I'm trying what you're saying now to put in my life, just right now what you're saying, and thinking like, okay, this is definitely something I'll be thinking about for at least for a couple of days. Which is this part, like, I think for me it's really good that you said that because, but yeah, I'll let you know what I came up with. No, it's a great because it does change, right? It does change. But for me, oh, I have a one question for you. Um, so when people do the inner work, right, the dark night of the soul, and some people go through several of them in life, one
Yes.
more.
Yeah.
I know for personally, I've been through several of them. Uh, but I truly believe that, and I want to really have your honest opinion about this. Is uh, there's one. You go through several, but there's one, the big one. Let's call it the big one, where you clear the heaviest stuff, and then it's kind of just smoothing things out. Because in my case, was like I needed 4 months just to calm down my nervous system because this one was big. Like it was so much work I did in short time. I've been told by people that were helping me, like, because I went for help and they helped me with the theta healing and stuff. And I'm like, I came out after the first one. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so amazing. Burden is down. And I'm like, is this always with all of your clients? He's like, no, you just did 5 years in 2 years on yourself. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. But that was desire. I was like, I need to clear this, whatever it is, you know. And but I truly believe from this experience that when you decide, whatever pushes you, it doesn't matter. That there's because it doesn't make sense that it's always healing, right? It can't be always healing because what's the point then? Like, and I think then it's like because for me it was like after I cleared it, I start remembering more and more and more and more and more. Some things came between the dark night of the soul, but now, especially last couple months, I start really remembering things, right? So I
Yeah.
don't know what's your opinion on that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So one thing, often I like to swap the word healing for recalibrating or harmonizing,
Okay, thank you.
simply because, like just for one reason, because in the spiritual, like, I don't
Okay,
know, world, people became so obsessed with healing that they kind of get stuck into like a
exactly.
feeling that they need to like change something in themselves in order to dot dot dot. I think we can, like you don't need to heal to be that, to do that. No, you can do it now. But yes, what I think, probably yes, there comes one big one that like really shakes you, and then for me it's like this, next time I understand what's going on, so I'm
Yeah,
not resisting as much, and it's not like it doesn't knock you
down.
down so completely, because you are like, okay, this is what's going on. Yes, usually you resist at least a bit. Yeah, so so it just goes by faster with less resistance, and like it can be deeply painful, but by now that pain alchemizes you.
Yeah,
It's a portal. Yeah, and you don't like hang out in that pain, because usually I think when I had my like that collapse of my whole system, I was like, how do I put this system back? Like
mm,
not like, okay, this is falling down, let it go. No, how do we reconstruct this? But then you don't do that. You are like, okay, this was meant to go, let it go.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great description. Thank you. Definitely. Uh, I needed me personally hear that what you just said, so I can see it from like different point of view. Especially this healing. It's so true. It's so true. People are stuck into that, and it's always something needs to be, and it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Maya, would you like for maybe the end, maybe just any message you might have, whatever, doesn't need to be super profound, whatever, or whatever you would like to share. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll put your website when I edit this, and I'll put it down so people will always see where they can find you.
yeah,
So, but just maybe whatever would you like to share? Um, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, let me just feel for a moment.
Hmm.
You know, yeah, my cat is
It's okay. Don't worry.
what I see so often with my clients and just people around, even, also the people that are on the path and they know that the answers are within. They are still very much searching on the outside, like, what is my mission? What am I supposed to do? And then I talk with them, and we always realize that they are receiving the messages, but they are just like discounting them, like not believing, or this is not possible, I'm not ready, just an automatic response, like thing that happens inside of them. So I would say, believe that those messages that come to you. You are a divine being. You are remembering now. You are on the path of remembering. This is like it's magnificent that you are standing in this moment in time where the old systems are collapsing, and you already remember this ancient knowing, the information. You have it. Trust it, believe it. Like,
Mm.
it's arising inside of you. Take a moment, stop looking outside. Yes, okay, look for inspiration. Allow yourself to be activated, but then believe what is arising from within you, because I know it's coming, I know it's there. But just automatically we are like, no, 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 not yet, not.
It's not the right time yet.
It's not the right time, I'm not ready yet, this is too big.
I I have those kind of monologues in the last 10 days with myself. What you just said now. Maybe you had to say it for me or whatever whoever's gonna listen this, but and it's kinda, and I know I've been getting ready for all my life for that. And it's kinda, oh, is it really happening? You understand?
Yeah.
Like, so this is exactly, yeah. Thanks. At least for I don't really. If does anybody doesn't get this, it's okay. I had to listen, hear this one. Uh,
And I'm gonna add this as
mm,
well. Like, you don't need to justify yourself
yeah.
to the world or explain.
Mm,
The most important thing for you is, and I remind myself of this,
mm,
anchor yourself in that knowing and in that frequency. Because when you do, you will come online in a more profound way, and the people that need to hear what you have to say will find you,
mm,
because you stabilized yourself in that frequency. Because when we waver, when we are like, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet, this is so big, you are not stepping into it. You are having it somewhere in your field, and like maybe you feel like you need to explain what you do. No, you don't need to explain. The people who understand, they are there, but you need to believe in what you're saying.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Simple. Perfect. Maya, this was amazing. We had a lot of technical issues today for whatever reason.
That's normal. It always happens.
Yeah, I'm just like, how I'm gonna edit this. I mean, not edit, like, let me try to fix it, but it is what it is. Um, Thank you very much for your time, for all the experiences and everything that you shared with us. And hopefully we can do it again at some point when the time is right.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was amazing.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Maya,
Yeah,
thank you. And till next time, bye.
bye.